a video on monosodium glutamate. So I was in the Asian supermarket and I saw a packet of monosodium glutamate and I kind of thought, I've always been tempted to try it. When I was younger, they said it was very bad for you. They used to be, it used to make people sick, or they said it made people sick, and it was like a staple in Chinese Chinese food in the UK, and I suppose in the rest of the world as well. But my experience of the rest of the world wasn't very much when I was very young, so I couldn't tell you. So it was kind of like and it was in lots of condiments and things because it gives that instant kind of burst of flavour. But we've kind of stopped using it because there was this thought that it wasn't very good for you. But now opinions have changed and all that kind of stuff. I do remember working with a lad, and he'd done lots of chef competitions, so where you go and compete against other chefs from other restaurants and hotels, and he said that what they used to do is they used to cheat. So when they were making a sauce, you weren't allowed to add monosodium glutamate, so they used to keep a little pot of monosodium glutamate in a old film camera container. Film camera film? Yeah, camera film container. Those little plastic pots, and have it on the table, and then use that when the judges weren't looking. And the judge kind of like, "What's that pot there?" And they kind of go, "It's just some it's camera for the film type thing. We're going to take some pictures." And so the judge wouldn't open it, so they kind of got away with it. And that was kind of really my only kind of experience. And he said that it just gives you this instant burst of kind of flavour. So I saw it and I was curious. It's been in the back of the cupboard, so I kind of thought it's now time to do something with it. So I've just made some onion soup. It is just onions with some milk and a bit of pepper in there, and some water, and that's about it. I will give you a tip for free. What you can do is you can just put some butter in your soup, and it enriches it like you wouldn't believe. And it kind of like improves the flavour. So there's going to be a little bit of salt from that, but we're going to do two batches. We're going to do the monosodium glutamate, and we're going to do the salt as well. So we'll just make it all the same by puring in the butter. Oh, it's also how you get that frothy foam that we used to see in the 90s, and the 1890s, the 1990s. Same principle as a cappuccino. So it's the fat in the milk that froths up and gives you that foamy head, in the same way that you can add butter to soup and get that foamy head. Or other fats, not just butter. Right, that will be mixed in and of a consistency that's going to be suitable. So we'll put this into two containers. I'll give you another tip as well, actually, while we're here. So what I do is, if I'm making soup one day, I always make extra, and then I store it in these glass jars. And then, because we really should be cutting down the amount of plastic that we use and all that kind of stuff. In glass jars, what you can do is just put it in a glass jar. You're not going to get any of those nasty plastics in your system, and also go straight in the fridge, and then go straight in the microwave, and you can heat it straight up in the microwave. So I've just tasted that. I've just licked my finger. There's not much flavour to that whatsoever. Not very nice at all. And ordinarily I would use chicken stock cubes, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to use the butter and salt as the seasoning. So how much salt do we reckon? Not that much in there. And then let's get a bigger spoon. See, I got spoons out, and then I kind of thought, oh, they're not the right size, are they? So, and I don't know how much monosodium glutamate to use, but I reckon what, about the same? About the same, so about that much. And then give it a stir. So one of the chefs that I worked for, his lesson was to make sure that the salt was properly mixed into and melted into the food that you were cooking. So it's all very well adding rock salt and things like that to food, but it takes longer for the rock salt to melt. So you need to mix it in completely, because you will find if you don't mix it in quickly, thoroughly, you're going to have parts of the soup that are salty and parts of the soup aren't. And if you taste the part that isn't salty, you're going to think it needs more salt, and you're going to over season. So it's important that we thoroughly mix. So I'm not bothered about reusing these spoons because it's for me. Much nicer for the bit of salt that went in there. Now, will this make a difference? Needs more. Needs more. Not really done anything, has that? Not really done anything at all. Maybe a bit more. Not really much difference. So, you have to use a hell of a lot more of that to kind of get some kind of bit of flavour to it. So, but what we will do is we will take the one that's already got salt in. No, that's the one with just salt. What we can do is we can add some salt to this one. So roughly about the same amount of salt that we put in that one. So this has got monosodium glutamate and salt now. And then we're going to see if there's any kind of difference in them. It's subtle. It's subtle. But that one's nicer. Yeah, so I'll put a bit more salt in. Got a bit more. See, I was always kind of taught to season things within an inch of their life. I don't think salt's as bad as it used as they originally made it out to be. There was this kind of scare that salt was really kind of bad for you. I don't think it's as bad as they made out it to be. I don't think there's a lot of things are as bad for you as they're made out to be. Well, apart from plastics and hydrogenated vegetable fat, they're bad for you. Alright, okay. It's nicer with the monosodium glutamate in it. It's nice, but it's not like that, like kapow flavour. Now, I did buy these chicken stock cubes from another supermarket. Now, these I'm sure they're from Nigeria, and these have got monosodium glutamate in them, and there is a real kind of kapow chickeny flavour to them, and they kind of taste like you imagine a chicken stock cube would, but just putting some monosodium glutamate in some soup, it improves it. It improves it, but not kind of like a massive amount. I mean, it tastes better. It tastes better, but only when you're kind of comparing them side to side. But that is the essence of cooking. So Marco Pierre White talks about like excellent food is like lots of tiny little things done perfectly, you know. So correct seasoning, correct amount of salt, correct amount of acid, delicious vegetables, all those like 20 little things that all come together to make a dish sensational. So yeah, you can improve your dishes with monosodium glutamate, but not like huge amounts, and not like you would if you know how to season. You don't need to use monosodium glutamate, to be honest, if we're doing it like this. Anyway, so I'm going to try a bit. Alright, okay, so it's kind of got that umami kind of flavour to it, but you'd have to put a hell of a lot in. So you can dip your finger in it. Oh. I'm going to spit it out. But I can see where those chicken stock cubes from Nigeria get their flavour from, and it's from the monosodium glutamate. There's a little bit of chicken in them, but most of the flavour comes from the monosodium glutamate. I suppose probably should have picked something other than something quite subtle in flavour. So probably would have something that could be quite intense in flavour, because onions aren't intense once you've cooked them, but something like chicken could become more intensified in flavour. So maybe it's that type of thing. But from this experiment, yeah, it kind of improves it, but not leaps and bounds, and it doesn't make something. I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's not going to. This will not improve your cooking skills. It won't give. It's not some kind of secret weapon that will turn bad food into great food. It will enhance good food. It will make your food taste better, but if it's not a very good, that's a good soup, is that? But if it's not a very good soup in the first place, that's not going to make a blind bit. That's not going to make much difference. It's not going to turn you into a cook, into a Michelin-starred chef. That's not some kind of secret ingredient that will do. But if you want to improve the flavour of something, yeah, use some monosodium glutamate. So, kind of quite interesting, but I rattled on for 8 minutes. But you've found out two interesting things, haven't you? You found out about putting some butter in your soup to enrich it, and storing things in glass jars, and you can stick them straight in the microwave, and then you can eat out of the glass jar like a heathen. So, that's kind of a success, isn't it?